I didn't actually want to record this one, but I thought it was pretty helpful for anybody in my same position or like starting off in the life insurance industry. I honestly I was too tired to actually just like get on the camera right now and just talk about this. But then again, I think if I just speak from what I've seen, and if there's somebody who's like kind of dropped out of an agency too, then they could actually find this helpful too. So I wanted to talk about the five different types of agencies that you could work for as a life insurance agent, and I wanted to break down each one of them to kind of explain the types of agencies that you could actually find out there in the market. Yeah, and I hope you can actually learn something today. So, starting off with the first life insurance agency that you can work for is the free lead agencies. So with this one's essentially you get free leads. You start at a low commission split, maybe 40% up until 60%. It just depends who you're working with. And then you have like a manager, which is basically like your upline. The guy, this person will basically teach you how to go about it. The training depends on which person you got, and then the quality of like training, I guess. You'll basically be taught how the life insurance sales or the closing process would work through this person. And then these agencies, since they give you free leads, that means that you have to perform quite fast in order to stay there. Otherwise, they're just gonna kick you out because these agencies, they have a lot of high turnover because of how many reps like go past through them. A lot of them don't make it, so they basically kind of like look for the people who have like the most skill or can actually do it fast. And I wasn't one of them. I got cut because I think I was too slow. I was too slow, and they told me that the stuff that you did wrong, you weren't taught to do that. Well, yeah, because I think, I think, but yeah. So they would essentially be like that. You can't really expect anything other than just you're there to learn, pick up a skill, and then if you're not cut out for it, they'll cut you off. That's essentially how these agencies play out. They're good for starting agents who don't know like much about the game, which is great. There's not a lot of cost. You still have to go through the hurdles of like going through the exam, getting your fingerprints, the costs available for like software that you have to pay, like insurance and all that. But then once you got all these different things and you pay and then like you get trained, you have a pretty good understanding of like how the closing process goes in life insurance. So I would say it's good for beginners or people who intermediate who just want to stack up like more and more reps. But that would be the first one. The second one would be like lead brokerages. So with these ones, you essentially buy your own leads. They don't have a free lead program. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Sometimes the free lead agencies have the lead program. But as your own broker, essentially, you would have to put in the cost of the leads. Sometimes it's bi-weekly, sometimes it's per month. It could be a lot of money. And this is for intermediate level players who know how the closing process works and will have done it for a while now. So this is for them. If you want to build a team, the leads are yours, so you can build your own business on top of it, and you can grow, like I said, a team, and you can make overrides over the people that you're working there. A lot of the tools, you're probably going to have to buy them yourself. They're probably just going to give you like a spreadsheet or something. You don't sell them by yourself. You're going to have to put in the costs of the leads and the software that you're using. And then from there, you could actually spend a lot of money on leads and make a fuck ton of money. Or you can spend a lot of money and lose a lot of it. And then the commission structure is quite high because it is your business. So I've seen some of them that start at 100% or 90% or sometimes up to 110%. It just depends on who you're working with. So this is for intermediate level people or people who just want to do it themselves, do it yourself kind of thing. So that is the second type. The third type is the cult / like MLM type agencies. So these ones essentially you're kind of tied down to their own system. You can only sell their products, and then what they do is they incentivize you to actually recruit more people to make overrides on top of them. The thing about these is that, well, you're only incentivized to sell one type of product. And when you do that, you're kind of limited into your options. So you can't really sell for other carriers outside of the company that you're working with. Going back to the lead brokerages, you can sell for multiple carriers as well as the free lead stuff. Now going back to the third one, yeah, it's heavy on recruiting, but then again, I would not recommend working for an MLM. Fuck that. I would never do that. But it's for people who want to like grow a team fast. If anything, that's what I would say. But I would not recommend working for one of these. If there's training, sometimes there would be training, or sometimes there isn't training. Probably it's just like a lot of motivational hype, and then like just go sell. You know how sales organizations, instead of bringing like people who are like operators in the business, they just bring like some type of like motivational salesman or motivational speaker instead of getting somebody who's actually skilled in the craft of selling life insurance. It could be like that. So that's why I wouldn't really recommend one of those. So that's the third one. The fourth one is the W-2 with benefits employee. So with this one, you're essentially a W-2 employee. It's like you're working your 9 to 5. You make a salary, but you're kind of capped into how much you can actually make. So you probably be making about $30,000, and then from there you can only sell their products. But like I said, you're kind of capped. So unless you want to be a 1099 employee, if you do work the leads that they give you, you're basically working their book. You're not really like your own brokerage. You're basically like working their leads, their system, their everything. So it's theirs. You're basically just an employee who works there and makes a little bit like a commission or a salary there. It's safer, but you're more capped in how much money you can make. And if you're like in sales and you have ambition, well, that's kind of an issue, you know, because like if you want something bigger, then you can't really like, I guess you wouldn't really settle for that. But then again, it's like pick your poison kind of thing. So if you wanted to do that, then might as well do that, like if that's what you want. Yeah, so that would be like the fourth one. Oh, by the way, they actually have like big commission structures because you sell what's inside too. Just like the third one that I talked about, the MLM and like cult shit, this one is kind of the same thing. The commissions are pretty high because you're selling their products, their stuff, and you're only tied to sell the carrier. So that's the fourth one. Fifth one, it's the pay to play schemes. So for this one, if they ask you money up front to pay, like they have these fancy like websites on like the internet, and then they say that they have like a lot of testimonials. It's basically a fucking funnel. It's basically a funnel. Sometimes you would fill out your details, and then they would try to like funnel you towards paying. And once you pay, you get access to like these training modules, or I don't know what you would call it, maybe like a community that you could be a part of there. They'll basically put YouTube videos, but it's more about do-it-yourself kind of thing, and they don't have like one-on-one mentorship, which is, if you're starting, is what you're looking for, which was for me. So yeah, you would get access to like a community. I guess you would learn how to sell by watching a lot of videos and all that. But then again, if you ask them, where's that money going to? Like the initial fee to get in, where's that money going? And if they don't even know where that money's going, and they just tell you it's just a fee to get in, well, if their system was so good, why don't they just take a cut of your sales? Why do they have to charge you up front to play the game? It makes no sense. And they say, oh, they try to guilt trip you like, oh yeah, it's just to see if you're committed. Why are you making money when I pay to get in instead of just like getting a percentage of my sales? Because that's how most OP sales organizations do it, the real fucking good ones. So what's up with that? So when they don't even know where the money's going to, they tell you that, just run the fuck away from those. They're not good. The people who are trying to like recruit you, they're pretty good at talking. I already saw it. They're pretty good at talking, but I would not recommend it. And the reason that I know a lot about how these organizations kind of work. It's because already I've been speaking to these agents or life insurance agencies for a bit now. I willingly gave over my contact info, and then I hopped on a call with them. They would actually just answer my questions. What I did was that every single interaction that I had, I would basically record the call and just gave it to ChatGPT. So at the time I'm having the call with the person, ChatGPT would hear it, and then it would get the whole transcript of what actually happened. I just ask it to break it down exactly like what they have, what do you think about the opportunity, like depending on what I'm looking for. And it kind of broke down everything. And sometimes it told me there's a lot of red flags with this one, there's a lot of risk in this one, and this one is like pretty upfront and pretty good green flags, you know, like the most amount of green flags that you could find. And that's kind of how I got my sense of like the different types of agencies that you could work in, the 5 different types. I don't know, I thought it was, for me at least, to just break down like the types of agencies that are out there. Somebody starting out, I thought it was pretty useful to talk about this because, well, nobody really tells you this. I had to figure it out myself and just ask questions and like look for information and just double check with AI. And that's kind of how I got it. And right now I haven't really decided on which type of agency I'm going to. I'm still talking to more, but once I talk to a little bit more, I'll make my decision on which one I'm going towards. And then again, I'll commit again, because I am committed to learning how to sell over the phone. I know it's hard, but if it's hard for you, it's hard for everybody else. So for now, that's all I really got. Hope you learned something new. If there's anything I could tell you about this journey, I have doubts, quite a bit, I'm not gonna lie. Most of the time I'm not really sure what I'm doing, but I'm trying anyway because I do want to get better. I would imagine like one of the guys who like let me go told me was that, you know, not everybody makes it in this game and you probably can't make it. And it got me thinking, and I'm like, I think that's bullshit. I think that is very much bullshit, because the reason that I got let go, I think it was bullshit too. Honestly, I think it was bullshit. But I don't have a say in that. The only thing I can do is just keep moving forward. I'm not one type of person who complains, but I am one person who actually sees bullshit when he sees it and just calls it out. In the future, I'll keep posting about this, and yeah, go ahead and like and subscribe if you want more stuff like this, or if you're actually in the game. If you're just watching, welcome to spectating somebody's life. I don't know why you would want to watch somebody's life instead of just living your own, but so yeah, hope you enjoyed, and hope you actually learned something from all this. So yeah, see you.